Alrighty everyone, hello. How's it going? I'm Palidore, this is VR Master League Channel 2, and I've got for you this match between Kaiosify and Dynamic. About ready to begin pretty soon. So these two teams coming in the Bronze Division at, well, a 2-4 record for Kaiosify. For Dynamic, 3-3. So Kaiosify trying to inch themselves closer to evening things out here, still in the quite early season in the grand scheme of things. Meanwhile, for Dynamic, trying to perhaps pull ahead by a win and go in the positives. So with that, I'm Palidore here on the cast, and you guys are the Twitch chat, and I'm thankful that you're here with me. See the kid Focus in there, as well as Pig Gaming. Your mom, Jeff. Certainly not mine. My mom is not named Jeff, but I do have a mom. That's kind of how it works. Glad you're in here, though, even though you're not mine. For this stream, you can be. Stoompa as well. Stoompa, who we just saw last night in the streams. Bart Star, same thing. So good to see you guys. Jade Michael, cheering on Dynamic. See Robbins as well. Bart Star asking for a poll. But unfortunately, can't do that here on Channel 2. At least not a prediction poll, as we don't have channel points on this channel currently. Of course, later on, which is to say in the pretty near future, we do have some exciting ones on one as well. You might have seen Sir Dimwee posting on the League Talk channel, but we got a handful of Master Tier matches all up in a row, so definitely be on the lookout for that as well, starting in about a couple hours from now, actually. Because later tonight, we do have Team Joker and Kangarillas, which... do I even need to say it? I don't, but I will. Be there. Two undefeated teams here in North America, the only two remaining in the Master Division without a loss. And of course that's the case. Meanwhile, I also have Project Mayhem versus Spaghetti following that, as well as Project Mayhem versus Ethereal. And actually also, I might have forgotten, right before Joker and Kangarillas, to lead us into it, we will have a match between, let's see, the Aurora and Rusty Robots. Aurora, who we saw earlier this week, a couple days back, I believe on Tuesday, perhaps it was. And for Rusty Robots, well, just saw them yesterday. And a very impressive outing at that versus Spartan. So, you got some matches, needless to say. Here on Channel 2, as we kind of work into our prime time of North America, we got Kaiosify and Dynamic, and then following this one, hopefully if all things are according to schedule, that is to say, we'll have another match between Apex Predators and the Ultimate Crusaders. So, you got some options for sure. And if there happens to be any players from Crusaders or Predators, Apex Predators in the chat listening, watching, just note that, yeah, if you guys got invites out there early and you want to wait for me if this does get a little bit over the mark, over that 30-minute mark is when it's scheduled to start. But as always, you know, no obligations to wait, but if you do, I'll be there. And even if you don't, I'll be there as long as you give me an invite and just join late. But, yeah. With that said, still waiting on, well, something. I mean, we got 8 players in the game at the moment. You can see the rosters here. Maybe check the spec. Yeah, it looks like we're good. I mean, maybe ping's a bit high for a couple of the players, but still regulation, so. But with that, taking a look at these rosters for the teams, the playing roster today, it looks like, for Kaiosify, will be Bean, Jake, Bulger, Oyster, and Kerbress. Also have Kikiri on their team. Meanwhile, for Dynamic, they've got the Invisible, AXN, JXN, as well as Kakashi Hatake. Which I'm probably slightly butchering on the pronunciation, slightly. But I think it's close. I did my very slight research earlier on. I believe that's a name from Naruto, I think? I don't know. I love me some anime, but believe it or not, I've never watched Naruto. If anyone's curious, my favorite, probably Full Metal and Steins Gate. But nonetheless, we're getting ready to go. Looks like there's a ready up Jade Michael in there saying, you got it, Pally. No, you got it. Alright, here we go. So, round 1 about to begin. And looking forward to it. Of course, got Angel also, Angel 1 Avenger, the 5th rostered member of this dynamic team. But you can see their full 4 as they launch out in full force, and grabbing it first is going to be Hatake. And over onto the bubble. Just gonna get this grab, looking like the first offensive possession will go, in fact, their favor. A nice handoff pass, shot attempted right at the feet of the goalie, so trying to paint that corner, unable to convert as that sails right through to mid lane, bouncing off a little bit, so invisible. Very visible, and approaching on the offense once again. Defense here for Kaiosify. Got Kerbrass and Bean just linked up in there. Just kind of playing it in the bubble, you know, well prepared for maybe a potential stack should their frontline botherers cause a turnover in this area. But meanwhile, Owie sends it high, then to the highway, well taken right back by AXN. And trying to deliver that to the root. But unfortunately, someone took an AX and axed that tree and only left the root, no one there. A turnover instead to the blue side of the field, of the floor, and Dynamic now trying to get back maybe to get this disc, and they shall. So Kakashi there with a brief second to spare, but will be intercepted by Jake over at the tunnel. So now linked up, and you can see their one teammate splitting off on the bottom of the floor. They have another one at the barrier here, Oyster, and now just trying to join themselves in all the bubble. All 4 players for both teams kind of in that area, and now trying to pile up on this disc will be grabbed by Bean, and Bean, a little bit of a pass fake. Meanwhile, you can see Jake once again taking a bit of a tap boost, but instead gets tapped from behind. Say, hey, how are you? I'm gonna just punch you real quick. But with that, a turnover will just go right back in the favor of Jake, so still scoreless here, stalemate with 2 minutes into this first round. And maybe a wide open goal. Let's see the shot. Oh, it goes right off the body. I believe that might have just been off the head. Otherwise, could have been a nice grab. But fortunate both ways, as they will deny a potential score. It was open for them. Could not get it, though. So let's see. Newton in the chat there saying, hey, Pally, we got some echo here, yo. Really? Like Echo Arena? Or you mean echo in my mic? Maybe it's just because I'm being super repetitive on the cast. That could be it. Maybe I'm just saying the same thing over and over. You never know. But nonetheless, yeah, welcome to the chat. Okay, just making sure. So welcome Newton Dad, as well as Frick and Derpy Disaster. What a name. As well as Endo, Bowdy, and... well, here we go. Wolverine as well, who we also saw last night, I do believe. Had some pretty sick saves over there. That said, thus far, these goals... not able to get it scored into them. You can see the goalkeeper there, Kerbrass, taking position as the frontliners all just converge on each other in the mid lane. Will bounce low and then bounce high. Oyster, the smart pass over there. Well communicated to Jake. Jake now and Bean getting some good chains together. So they got the grabs. Unfortunately, couldn't get there fast enough as it will be now. Kakashi with the drive. Has to be careful because otherwise driving that speedy car down the lane was that stack from the Kaiosify players. I'm just trying to find a little bit of heat here on the offense. A lot of back and forth play, for sure. But the goal is the name of the game. As I echo, just for Newton there. But will be Bean. They fake, the Dusty, and the take. It's Bean. Looking mighty mean. And 2 points first for the Kaiosify after 3.5 minutes of action. See Daily G Tyler in there saying, can we hear a sea shanty from me? Maybe later. Not so much mid-match. Maybe later, though. Good to see G Tyler in there, of course. Talk about, well, my TikToks. What about yours? I feel blessed with G Tyler's presence here. Of course, saw G Tyler plenty in the Snowflake Cup, the Rookie Cup. A lot of successful showings for G Tyler. Now it will be off to the wedge here, picked off by Kerbrass. Kerbrass now bouncing it to the tunnel, so that's going to be lost in here for a little bit as they all contest each other. Deep clear, going to be had by Dynamic. Dynamic, if they can get quick they might have themselves a goal. It was open, but unfortunately mishandling it kind of bounced it off the Geo, off the top of the ceiling. So instead, now they're going to converge on each other here at the wall. Right back, trying to hit Kakashi in the Stride, but Stride denied. That said, supplied the goal. It was almost in, but regrabbed once again as Invisible. This team holding strong and finding the divisible shot in the bubble as it's tied up 2 apiece. Gotta like it, gotta love it, want some more of it. I'm trying hard here. But anyway, less than 5 minutes left in this first round. Pretty even game. Nice shot indeed, says Frick. And let's go Owie, says G. Tyler. And Crispy with the saltiness. Hopefully just playing around there. So we'll be Bean. Right down the floor, has to be careful. Kakashi's there, a little sidestep and a pass off. It's gonna take a bounce off that root and be picked by Owie. And Owie will bounce actually kind of a indirect back pass, if you will, to Invincible, excuse me, I've been calling him Invisible. I apparently ignored the N. Well, that said, trying to find the end of the stack. They're gonna get a grab maybe, and they will. There's Kakashi with a good take, has a chance to take a lead, and nice placement right there near that pocket. They're up by a pair. And good job from Kakashi to get that recovery, as well as Invincible with the bother on that initial pickup. Alright, so Oyster and Kurt Brass here. Gonna get punched out with those brass knuckles, but all the meanwhile, Bean up the floor, down the floor I should say, got the little juke and now the double KO. So had that pass connected, they might have been able to press the numbers advantage, and in fact, still may. The defense really playing aggressively outside the bubble, so a chance to tie it, and Bean does indeed find it. It's 4 for each team, and 4 courtesy of the Bean. So nice and even match thus far. Yeah, absolutely. Newton Dad. Just neck and neck, and we're going into the final few minutes of this first round, but it's anyone's round at this point. You know, any scores for either team, you know, at this scoring pace could definitely be damaging. So this is kind of the opportunity for both these teams, a time where they need to hunker down and really play it carefully, because any mistake and any goal the other end could definitely cost. Let's see though, will not get the goal because Kurt Brass is there holding strong. Nice save. And the second clear coming out from the midfield and looking like, well, let's see, Jake, I mean, contesting all the players, that would have been a very, very slick play all the way down the floor for Jake as he made his way through the forest of defenders. Bean, another gentle duck, trying to find the goal, but couldn't get the luck on that bounce as it will go right outside back to the wedge. Now positioned well is Jake, a bounce pass nicely over to Jake. Jake going to roll it in, couldn't find the cutter, so that's gonna be sent outside the bubble again, taken by AXN and to the right lane where there is a midfielder able to gather. So Oyster now to Jake. Jake the handles, backing it out. I really like how patiently they're playing this, especially in this juncture of the game, because the time is winding down. That said, a double knockout, so some danger close, and now danger far as that is sent deep into the bubble on the orange side. Both these players here, orange and blue, getting there roughly the same time. A great pass handed off. Oh, but the barrier will bounce off. That could be costly here in this first round. Let's see how it pans out. Got a minute and a half left. And pinning it off this wall, it's Bean. The recovery. Up the floor, has a cutter, and will jump. Just a light one, and trying to find the light, and they see it for the 6-4 lead. 1 minute and 15 seconds left, just about. 2-point lead for Kaiosify. Very, very nice move. Like, look at this, just the gentlest of bunnies. And boom, right through the defense. Wearing him like clothes from a closet, but didn't matter. And now the, defense playing really strong. So another turnover. This could be a late ice, and no, snagged out by Invincible. Keeping his team out of the trouble, at least more trouble, as we do wind down this first round here. 42 seconds left, and need some boost. That almost is actually in, but snagged by Bean. So let's see how Kaiosify plays it here. If they can kind of play that disc close to the vest, not I'll lose it here to the side of Dynamic. That is a very deep clear, though, and a boosted player. This is going to be danger. Now, Kerbrass has that lane. The pass, though, is going to be cut off. The clear bouncing around ruggedly. And now, Jake Bolger, the Boulder. And they do, in fact, roll over in this first round for the win. Very, very close, though. Final 90 seconds is what it came down to. It was a tie up until then. So with that, first round will go the way of the Chaotic Ones. Shout out Dano McFabulous, wherever you are. Excuse me, hydrating, especially because I don't have the channel point rewards, but otherwise, hello again. Jade asking, was that an Avatar pun, Pally? No, but I wish it was. Which one? What did I say? Because I do, in fact, love me some Avatar as well. But that said, first round in the books, and Kaiosify able to pull ahead with those back-to-back goals pretty late there. Can see the score. 6 points for Bean, leading the way on the offensive end as well as the defense. Look at that. Bean with 3 saves and 15 stuns. Well, and a steal. So really here, Bean actually leading in 4 out of the 5 categories of stats. And really putting in some muscle, for sure. Yeah, Oyster there with an assist. Jake with a couple points, an assist and a save. A save for Kerbrass and 6 stuns. Over on the Dynamic side, you got 2 apiece between Kakashi and Aoi, as well as 1 save apiece, so looking fairly symmetrical there. Of course, Kakashi also with a couple steals and 12 stuns. For the Invincible, I'm going to keep saying his name and really making that N distinct. Invincible. Called him Invisible a few too many times at the beginning, so I got to make up for it by just saying Invincible a few times now. But assists for him and 2 saves and 5 stuns. AXN, JXN with 10 stuns. Now I clarified with AX before the game just to make sure that his name is in fact pronounced that way, and it is. Because otherwise I was thinking, I think I said this before, probably in the Snowflake Cup or something. Action Jackson. That's what it looks like to me. But AXN it is. And A will X out of here, back into the second round. There was a brief timeout, that's why I was a little bit extended on that, but we're back, we're back, we're back. So here we go. Second round underway. G. Tyler saying, hear me out, a Twitch that's called Storytime with Pally, where it just talks about early VRML. Not only early VRML, how about early ESL, early Echo? I mean, there's so much juicy history in Echo that I could talk about for days. That said, it will be a great steal from Aoi. And out to the other lane. Now, if they can get started quickly, you know, have themselves a nice start to the second round, see if they can build that momentum. The last thing you want to do, though, is give up another one to Kaiosify to start off, because that would mean extending to the first round. That's 3 goals in a row, and that's where you can really have them start feeling in a good rhythm that could be hard to start cutting off. So definitely need to cauterize these wounds just a bit and find room for some scores as Jake Bolger takes it over and sends it to the wedge. Bit of a knockout there, though, as the brawls continue to ring. And that said, off the head, so now the ears will ring a little bit, but a grab right back for Jake. So fixing that mistake, but now another take. It's gonna be Bean, not Baked, but Bean up the floor. Now watching out for that. Oh, well-coordinated 3. How about that? The goalie was stunned, pulling off a Joker. Talk about how we're seeing them later on tonight. Joker, the team who definitely popularized that move, the 3 on a stunned goalie. Well, Bean doing just that. That was a really great start. Wolverine there asking, what headset am I using? Gonna get a new one. The mic, hold on, check 1, 2. It's A2 for Bean. Right back at you, though. Yeah, 5 points. The mic is, in fact, HyperX, the Quadcast. The Quadcast that you see on those ads we roll sometimes. Our new sponsors for this season, and we love them oh so much. Of course, our other sponsors as well, providing, you know, amazing opportunities and prizes for our communities this season, between You know, HyperX and Asterion products. Of course, we got VR cover and Pro2VR supporters since the very beginning. Got Fixed Gaming, VRware.net, Rebuff Reality, and I'll need to buff out that scar there on the helmet because there's big stuns coming in. But Bean untangling and wrangling it though is invincible. Not sure if that was a spin, but that is certainly a win in the defensive end. Now for Owie, they get it cleared. Great defense from this team, and now right back to the mid lane now, and I'm impressed to say the least. Some good offense, but that is some sturdy defense, and maybe even the mail slot a little bit off. But if they can get some boosts going, I think that's where they're losing it a little bit. We've seen a lot of these clears. It seems like Kaiosify is beginning to get a lot more of those recoveries first, just a little bit faster. So they need to try and get this one together as they go into the tunnel. That's going to sail out of the reach of just a few different players from either team. Eventually, it's Owie there with a slap recovery, and trying to meet it halfway is going to be Kakashi, but Jake is actually getting there first, and Jake has had some pretty good grabs, able to get the loose disc quite often, but that said, invincible from the mid lane over in the Cloud. And sending it over to the outer edge. Over to the nest now. Lovely passing and the finish in the pocket. Hands up. Man down. And a dynamic. They got their first deuce. Small asking in the chat, when is Joker playing in EU time? Not quite sure in EU time, but roughly 2 hours from now. 2 hours and 7 minutes from now, I believe. So Kerbrass here, rolling out, sending it over to Kikiri. Bean with the disc now, and 6.5 minutes left in this round. Very, very close, but need to play some more defense again, and they do, in fact, a dive, and it was Owie once more able to secure, at least momentarily, that offensive pusher. See if he can do it again. Just might. And indeed, it is some might, some strength being shown, as Owie gets another tap out of there. Now, meanwhile, at the bottom of the trench will be taken by Jake. Jake has to be careful. A few different players all converging, but in that midfield, it was indeed Owie again as it gets sent down to Kerbrass off that rebound. So deep clear, but Kerbrass hanging in the back line in the deep orange field. And now in the front line, it's Kikiri trying for a handoff play, softly sailing to Jake. And Jake maybe looking for a return. The inversion, but no conversion thanks to Invincible in the goal. And that he was. The defense here starting to look just like that for the side of Dynamic. They are very, very quick, and they've been efficiently starting to deny some of these scoring drives from the side of Kaiosify. So Kaiosify now, they need to be careful. They are ahead by 3, but they're not. They haven't been able to get some of their offense going like they were earlier on. So that momentum shift could definitely be a reality. That said, overshooting a little bit will be Bean, but off the Bean pole, and it's gonna go to Jake here. Jake sending it to the barrier, and Bean right into the goal off the drive, assisted by Jake. They're up by 5 yet again. Earlier on, someone already answered the question, but Endo, yeah, the ATT is just shot attempts, essentially. Essentially, as it will be Invincible, essentially passing it on over to Kakashi. So, Kakashi, now to Owie. Owie's been having a pretty good round, and AXN almost was able to get the steal off that boost, but now will be a stun coming in, courtesy of Bean. And right back to the midfield. Invincible is there. Has a little bit of trouble with the initial grab, but is able to get that no problem right after. And trying to link up here and split off on the offense. So spacing out the floor for Dynamic. They do need to score here. And if they can. And, little jump move, but another save from Kerbrass. Looking like Kirby. Just an absolute siphon on these discs coming in at the moment. But Kakashi will get it on the next attempt. And they bring it right back within 3. Nice defense, but better offense in that particular instance.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Teams entering the arena.
Oh, and I'm seeing the pun I was making earlier, the boulder thing. Wasn't an Avatar reference specifically, but yeah. It was just more so wordplay on the name, but with that, it's Kirby here with the disc, And let's see, this defense has been pretty stalwart the last several minutes for Dynamic, so definitely still within their favor to potentially come back here, force that round 3, but we'll see. Nice handoff plays coming in from Kaiosify, and just walking it in, and a little bit liquefied there. Very stretchy, and well, I'm not sure what to think of that one. That's kind of an unfortunate timing. But with that, I guess a timeout. Definitely a spikeage had happened as he carried it into the goal. Not what you like to see as a little bit of spiking happens, but indeed, it happens sometimes. Well, in any case, they will pull up by 5 points. They got a little bit less than 3 minutes left. It was some nice passing beforehand. I mean, I will say definitely that much. Play a replay for you here as well. I mean, I like the handoff plays. Look at that. I mean, close proximity. And just kind of tapping off the barrier, but yeah, good luck saving that one. That's a little bit rough. Little bit rough. But yeah, ping definitely spiking now. Actually, for multiple players. I know when we started, there were 2 players who had about 100, but now we have 3, and a few of them spiking into the teens, 20s. Well, in any case, hopefully they get that settled and solved fairly soon. As far as what server this is, let me see. It is, according to the good old trusty bot, South Carolina. Won't lie, couldn't tell you exactly where that was. I know the general area, but man, my geography is not what it used to be. Anyway. That's what happens when you don't practice. I'll have you know, though, I was best in my class at it once upon a time in, like, 5th grade. Jealous? I think not. But anyway, timeout is apparently over here, so I'm hoping that was the last we'll see of those issues, because definitely would like to finish this strong and clean, you know? So, let's see. Rolling on out, and invincible. For them trying to put what just had occurred behind them if they can. They still got plenty of time. They do have to score a few times here, but getting scored with a stun. Going right back to Owie. Owie needs to be careful here. That's some pretty heavy defense. Hefty, in fact, as they clean it up. It's Owie there. Once again, he's going to whirl around, and look at that series of moves. Just kind of wiggles through a few different defenders and around the barrier. Found himself the goal, just snaking his way in there. Owie with a supremely nice move and an overall round, both defensively and offensively, getting it done. So it is right back to a 3-point game, and I know it's easier said than done, but Dynamic, all they have to do is play some defense. Let's see if they can. However, definitely still in, you know, Kaiosify's it's Kaiosify's game to lose at this point, because they have possession. Basically, if they can take care of this disc, you know, they'll be good. They may want to even just consider stalling a little bit, forcing some of these players out of the bubble to get a high percentage pass, because you know, the closer it gets to that 1 minute mark and below, the panic will start setting in for Dynamic, knowing that they need to play even more aggressively. I really do like the passing here. That is just fantastic. And Bean off of the curb brass pass does get it through the goalkeeper, and they go right back up by 5, and that may be enough. Very close to put that out of reach for Dynamic. They need to act even quicker, and like I said, on their heels, definitely feeling the heat from this offense on Kaiosify. Or Kaiosify. In any case, Bean will indeed ice it. Big turnover caused, and Kaiosify will look to come ahead of this round. The victors in 2. It was again, both rounds were very, very close up until the last minute and a half approximately. First round, it was tied 4-4 with around minute and a half left, and you know, right within 3 to 5 points in the round 2 for Dynamic up until the final couple minutes as well. So I still have a chance to score again, but just underarming it right into the goalkeeper. A good save picked off there as they make their way down the floor. Gonna be nabbed. 3 different players that got the open lane, and blacking out was the cameras, and blacking out on the win. It is a 17-6 ending to this round, and you know, a bit misleading. So they, in the sense that a lot of those points kind of right at the end when it was over. It was close up until that, but just Kaiosify got the job done, and they kept pressing. They did not give up the play until that buzzer sounded, so shout out to them. We're going to go to the score screen here in just a moment. And we do have another match coming up right quick, so I'll allow you to read the stats, but I shall be right back as I set up for the next. Okay, I'm back. So, don't actually have a invite yet from the other two teams that are scheduled to begin, well, a few minutes ago. So, we'll hang around just for a few, and hopefully that someone will send one over or ping me in the Discord. But, yeah, since I'm here, and not as rushed as I thought I was, well, let's read the stats for you. Congratulations again on the win to Kaiosify. Big second round and big last 2 minutes there. Bean, I mean, that is the meanest Bean I've ever seen. That's all I have to say. 20 points and 3 saves. Pretty nuts. Or well, not nuts, Bean, but you know what I mean. 22 stuns as well, was one steal, 3 saves, just immense. 14 shot attempts. You have Kikiri there with the 8 stuns, Oyster with 4 and 1 assist. You got Jake with 5 and 5 and points and assists. Very nice, as well as the 15 stuns. Kerbrass contributing an assist and 4 saves, which were also quite nice inside that goal. On the dynamic side, you got the 4 points and 2 assists, 1 save, 2 steals, and 15 stuns for Kakashi. Really full stat line for sure. Aoi, with the 4 points, 3 saves, 4 steals, and 17 stuns. Again, definitely had a super sick second round. Invincible, the Invincible that is, has 2 points, 4 saves, 10 stuns, and then for AXN, the 2 points and 16 stuns. So, I mean, everyone on Dynamic, what I do like to see, despite the loss, everyone got in on the team play. Everyone got some either points or assists. 3 out of 4 have points on there, and Invincible assisted twice and saved 4 times. 3 of their players have saves, and 2 of their players have multiple steals, and everyone doing a little bit of everything. So you do like to see that team dynamicism from them. Indeed, for Kaiosify, definitely a good effort for multiple players. But needless to say, it was Bean who was doing quite a bit of offensive finishing, but also, of course, thanks to the teammates assisting. Always a very, very important part. That said, I do, in fact, have an invite now to the next match, so we will be right back, my friends. And you guys stay tuned. We have coming up real shortly here, Team Apex Predators versus the Ultimate Crusaders. So stay tuned.
Don't fall, don't forget all the things you've been taught, you've been told. Don't blink.
From getting going, and that's a good move from Ignite. The pass there, slowly rolling the way of BTS King. BTS slapping it over, a catch by Duel. Duel sending it to the sideline. Now will be Franz, rolling it up the floor to Wolf. Wolf on the approach, handing it out to the corner. There's a team play, but there is the save away. And Phoenix through to bring it within 1. That was a nice one. Oh no, and the dab. Oh no, and the double dab. I'm done.
BTS King working his way along the left side. There's no pressure right now. He can take his time. He passes to the right. NTS Franz is below. Goes off the backboard. NTS Franz brings Ignite up by 9.
Not quite able to pick it up, and the shot goes out off the mark. Looks like it's going to be Goran Jr. picking that up, doing a nice spin move, but the shot was off the mark, but he's able to get it that second time. What a pocket by Goran there.
With it at mid, sending it in, is going to hit Meatballer. Meatballer encroaching on the bubble, out, coming in. What a stop there by Come. Gonna be picked up by Al and Ryan coming away with it, but Arco's in, no Come with another grab. Connor Chaos with it now. Connor Chaos gonna back it up. 17 seconds, sending this one up, but red there by Jay Walker. Jay Walker with the clear.
Mozzie.
Mozzie, he's gonna get his pocket picked. Ryan with it. Ryan Hager shot there from Jay Walker. That was disgusting.
Keep on, I shine. You'll surely get burned if you reach out and touch. My mind is a battle, I'm trying to hide it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. On to the place where all this began. Just start again. Won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes.
All right, everybody. Hello once again. We are back here in VR Master League. This is Channel 2. We're in Season 3. We're in Week 4, winding it down in this cycle, but of course not the season. Got plenty of season left to burn and plenty of teams to stream. So with that noted, we got Apex Predators, that is. These legends, and coming up against Ultimate Crusaders. Hunting for some skulls today. Over in the Twitch chat, by the way, thank you guys again for joining that last match. It's a very, very fun one that we had there between Dynamic and Kaiosify. Kaiosify coming ahead with the win. But yeah, you know, saw a lot of support in there here from a lot of familiar faces and friends and family, no doubt as well. Always love to see that from these teams, especially when a lot of them, you know, they get their opportunity to be streamed and for the first time for some of these teams as well. So always a pleasure and always good to see people coming in to support. Now for Ultimate Crusaders, as well as Apex Predators, this will be the first stream and first casted game by VRML for them. And happy to do that. You know, like I always say, I mean, every season it's definitely been our goal, been a personal goal of mine to stream as many teams as we can. Getting a bit more difficult. It's a good problem to have in a sense, but at the same time, when we go from 32 teams in preseason 1, roughly, to about 42 teams in season 1, roughly, then to about 170 to 180 teams in season 2, to around 270 teams in season 3 thus far. Yeah, you know, it is some massive growth, and we'll do our best to keep up. But with that, a lot of new faces coming in, both in these divisions across the league, both in the regions. I mean, Europe, North America, Oceania, every region growing since the end of Season 2, a few months back. And teams in the Discord making extra sure that I'm ready, which I appreciate. So that said, giving them the thumbs up, and we're getting going. So here we go, round 1. Ultimate Crusaders over on blue, Apex Predators over on the orange side. For these two teams, as I mentioned, first stream for both of them this season thus far. It will be Apex Predators coming off a win against Putin's squad. Might have been a technical victory, but over on the Crusaders side, last match against Deja Vu, they did drop that one, 16-7 on the whole, but won their match against Nani just right before that. So both teams, yeah, just searching for their momentum here, trying to put together some wins for Apex Predators. They could even up their record with a win here today. They would be 4-4. But that said, into the blue zone, the first minute of play, winding its way back and forth, basically, between orange and blue. Neither team maintaining heavy control for all too long, as it gets sent over to Redfire. Now, Redfire gets stunned, losing the disc out here to the bottom of the floor, and Tick getting punched, and a grab there from Levi. Very nice grab. Must be in the genes. But that said, over to the wedge. It's going to be had just barely out the reach, actually, of some kind of hero. It was basically traveling the same speed as the disc was, but they'll still get it back. So Jack taking that, sending it to some kind of hero. And some kind of shot off the pole, unfortunately, but a rebound from Noah, but gets stunned out of the arc, and now it's going to be sent right through into the blue and into the mid lane as well. These teams getting their chains together. A nice speedy boost coming in from Redfire and co. Tick is going to get that disc. Needs to get rid of it, though, because otherwise, well, he gets tucked. But anyways, it will be Tick with the disc once again. Has the teammates at the cross. Will send it over to the pole. Now at the post, that is, getting stolen once again. Diver there, it's Noah. And Noah back into the midfield where Kabishi will get that disc and sending it right into the 3. Now releasing it is Jack off of his save.
Way downfield.
Now a boosted player, solo at that, will get there first. Levi. At least trying to. Had a little bit of a tough time wrangling it. Kind of bounced awkwardly pinball style as it does sail over to Hero. Now Hero, a little bit left on that shot, but they'll still get the rebound. Noah getting it stolen. Redfire. Good grab. These teams now jostling for positioning and just trying to reach the trap here where the disc sails slowly as it does sail into the tunnel. So a couple minutes in, just about, and a shot will be denied by the barrier. But nonetheless, Jack will get the disc back. You can see the aggression coming in from Ultimate Crusaders. They are definitely playing a tough here defensively. Not content with just sitting in the bubble. They're playing way out of it. That said, of course, the double-edged sword for a Crusader when you do that is the numbers situation if you happen to lose that disc. Let's see, there it is. Levi through the woods. 2 points. After a couple minutes of action. 3 minutes, in fact, of action.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
More shoutouts to the Twitch crowd as well. Saw Happy Williams in there stopping by. Kerr Brass after that last game stopping by in the chat as well. Welcome to it. And, ooh, welcoming himself to a nice grab. It's Salami. No baloney. They got a 1-point advantage from 12 meters deep on a 12 meter per second shot at that. Oh, and at 12 seconds of gold time. Huh. Should go play the lottery or something. Numbers. All right, so back at them on the offensive joust. For the first time in this round, some kind of hero and the Predators, Apex Predators, trying to get some offense going again, but Salami, another steal, that is back-to-back, and tries to send it across. Just waiting maybe for the teammate to meet it halfway. There's Tick. So Tick from the top, sending it to the shoulder. Salami once again, right to that corner, around the back, and right into the head. So couldn't quite get the save, but they will. For Ultimate Crusaders, they will get the points off of that round the back move. Look at that.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, so Predators, Apex Predators on the launch again, trying not to give it up another time, because that would be, well, 3 scores in a row if they're not careful. Going in favor of Ultimate Crusaders. There it is. Crusaders cause a turnover, get sailed into the orange zone. Some short-range boost coming in from Salami, just doling a lot of damage out, it would seem. Meanwhile, Redfire with that disc is going to cross it over to the bow tie. So nice little reset to Tick. Tick going to tap off. And just going to drop it off here. Diving was Jack. Jack sends it to the midway of the field and will be slapped out of there by Noah. Now, might have been a little bit rushed there because there were a lot of players there, but it was teammates. That says doesn't matter because some kind of hero. That's what you like to see. You know, they get that slap through where maybe they didn't need to do it, but what they did afterwards, instead of kind of watching the disc go fly by, they still got fast in their stacks. They chained into the front line, caused a turnover, and they got it back for the score. So they bring it right back within 1 point. And 4.5 minutes here left in the first round, and much like that last match we saw. Between Dynamic and Chaotic, or Kaiosify, excuse me. This one has been pretty close, pretty neck and neck. So Salami here with a disc, good pass, just handing it off to Redfire, but could not find the bottom of the goal. Rebound, tapping it, and actually gets right past Kabishi there in the midfield, so might have had a chance at it. With that said, putting on the speed, there it is, and right through as the defense nearly recovers. Great score, however, to put them back up 7-5. 3:40 left. But yeah, in the clear and looking good. Starting to put on some more points. Though the first, 2.5 or 3 minutes were scoreless in this game, but ever since then, about that 7-minute mark, yeah, we're seeing a lot more scores start to happen with more frequency. That said, trying to tune into the right frequency, but getting tuned out by Jack. So Jack, the good stuns, the clear, this is going to enable his teammates potentially to get another gather and maybe a score. Let's see, because we had some back-to-back scores from Crusaders, but Apex Predators looking to get some back-to-back goals of their own. Now everyone making their way down the floor in a hurry, and right down the line, into the midline that is. Just missing the handles was the midfielder, but getting it back was Hero. So some kind of Hero, Levi, Woods, all in the same general space, but invading that airspace briefly, it was Salami. Salami definitely doing a lot of damage. Because pretty much on either end of the floor, you're seeing these great stuns and takeaways from Salami that have resulted in some nice plays. But that said, they got to get back here and defend. Diving out was Kabishi, and Kabishi through left lane. So nice clear. Meanwhile, the boost on the other end of the floor will open it up, perhaps. They got a little time, not a lot, but Red Fire, man, is definitely sweating fire at the moment. That disc turned orange just as it scored. A tenth of a second more, and that may very well have been a save. So with that, we are tied, ladies and gentlemen, with less than 2 minutes left in this first round. Opening things up for Apex Predators and Ultimate Crusaders in their very first VRML streams this season. Gotta say, they are definitely impressing, and they're showing up to play, putting up just a heck of a match to start off, so not a bad way to debut. But let's see, this next 2 points gonna be very, very vital, but instead, the vitality a little bit lost as British, yet another takeaway. A good stack, but could not meet the disc. They just misread slightly. And as always, those margins for error just very, very slim. Between a successful boost and grab to just an overshoot. The level of speed we're seeing in Echo these days are not conducive to slow boosts, but at the same time, if you're going to be fast on them, you also got to be accurate, and it is a definite balance that every player and every team does have to try and take. Now that said, nice handoff play, but being stunned. So another turnover will be intercepted, however, by Kabishi. That is the second or third time you can see Kabishi, even on some of the ones that he was unable to grab initially, hiding behind these Geos, whether it's stationed, whether it's the double diamond. He's been hiding in that mid lane and just popping out at the last second to get a lot of these clearaways from Apex. So that said, a bouncer will get back to some kind of Hero. And Hero, partial clear, that's going to get stuck in the tunnel, but boosting along the way. And Jack gets stunned. But meanwhile, the other two teammates here may be about to take a lead. This could be a victory. The defense back in it, though. Got to be careful. And Hero does get the goal. Now, I'm not sure. Maybe he was trying to find a three-point angle on that hesitation, kind of trying to reposition. Definitely big risk. Big risk because he allowed 3 different defenders to get back inside that goal area. But at the end of the day, Hero still was able to clutch it. And with not a lot of time, that will be the first round in the books for Apex Predators. Another thing he may have been doing was just drain a couple extra seconds so that they would not have time to joust back in the score. But like I said, either way, super risky, but it definitely paid off. And with that, first round of their first stream. And very close game, on top of everything else. Vacant Ace in the chat, Dynamic already played. They were the first match of this stream. They started about 50 minutes ago. That one was a 2-rounder. Quite close up until the last minute. I don't know if you want to know the results or not, so I won't spoil it yet, but... it did go into the last 90 seconds or so of both rounds. But that said, first round of this game, Apex Predators and Ultimate Crusaders. Super, super tight. maybe looking at a round 3 next time. We'll see. Ultimate Crusaders were not far behind at all. See Small in the chat. Oh, I'm so tired. Be back in an hour. I think that was a little while ago, but yeah, for anyone who did join us, always appreciate it here on any and all of the channels, of course. You guys are always great. And with that, round 2 about to start. And yeah, shout out as well to AXN. Really glad to be able to stream you guys, and hopefully we'll get some more yet in the coming future. But with that, second round, here we go. It's going to be taken and sent to the tunnel. Will be Levi over into the bubble. Now the goal is actually open. Now this could be dangerous as a nice boost from Hero gets it and zeroes in on the dunk. That was a few different nice moves coming in from some kind of Hero. Look at that. A tap boost off, was disciplined enough not to get caught up in a potential stun. Could have thrown it, but didn't necessarily need to. Could have been a risk. So that time just playing it a bit more safe and close to the vest, and hey, was able to just tap off and wind it down into a corner dunk. And then now another turnover here for Hero. Causing it, that is, and playing strong. Kabishi with the disc, who was playing tight in that mid lane as well in the first round, but Jack British with the takeaway and the clear. So as that sails up towards that cloud, there goes the boost again, just in time, and then knocked out. So a lot of brawls happening here. I think for Ultimate Crusaders, need to start, hopefully for them, finding, I think, faster stacks just slightly, or just grabbing onto some of these Predator players, these Apex Predator players, because they are definitely getting the better end of some of these boosts on the floors. I think that is the very slight difference maker here so far in these 2 rounds, but a great defensive stand from Kabishi. So yeah, the defense paying dividends, the stuns paying dividends, and definitely gonna be paying in the price of some band-aids here in a second, because these brawls are just heavy and hefty all up in that corner. You can see the pile-ups kind of forming, but with that, another series of plays, ping-pongs just back and forth between possession, but it does ultimately stick on this side of the floor, which is obviously for Predators quite conducive to their efforts here today. Again, I mean, loose disc, but it does stay here. At the moment, there you go. So Salami gets it, needs to find the clear, and there you go. Finally, they managed to get the disc into the orange side. That's what they were lacking the ability to do at first. And because of that, though, they got themselves the tie. And very efficiently boosted down the floor. Like that play, Salami brings it even.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And I see people in the chat there talking a little bit about Redshift. Well, not sure if something new apparently happened or not, but they did go inactive after last week. Their match last Sunday, they already sort of announced they informed people beforehand last Sunday that would be their last match, and they would go inactive for the rest of the season. So there was an announcement on the VRML Discord about that, but yes, I mean, you know, for Redshift, all their players are incredibly skilled. So I mean, you know, teams come and go at times, and if that's the case, they've broken up. Sad to hear about it, but I'm more than positive that those players will still be seen in the Master Division in the future. I mean, they're too good not to be. With that said, Levi Woods grabs that disc. He's gonna just send it to the bounce. No one really home, however, unfortunately. Maybe he was waiting that stack to arrive, but they just were slightly delayed, so it's Tick with the disc and sending it over to the orange lane. But once again, Jack British here with the disc and another turnover. Salami, a punch just because it could. And into the blue again, where the stack's coming in quickly. That's been the danger so far. Apex Predator's been mighty fast. There they are. Some kind of hero's been having a great game so far, but off the head, off the dome, and unlucky But the dive out here, very nice from Salami. Interception, unfortunately, however, because there's two orange players back in the midfield. Off the backboard, and it does yield some kind of hero. Another score. So 4-2. And some kind of hero up to 8 points thus far. Having himself a nice round. Or herself, or themself. Either way, a hero indeed. Putting on the capes in this round and trying to escape with the win. 5 minutes. Round 2. We shall see. So Kabishi up the floor. It's going to be bothered by Noah's defense. And just as well, the heroic defense. Immediately looking for the boost, just parting off and grabbing that disc. The defense not quite there, and putting it in with a bit of authority was Noah. 4:40 left. And as I said, it is a close game, the first round as well. Only 9-7 in favor of the Apex Predators. So it's not too far off from, being just as competitive of a second round. I really think the only problem really is just the boost, basically, the mobility. Because you can see, anytime these turnovers are caused, it does seem like more often than not, as we see right here, it is a stack that arrives to the disc first from the side of Apex Predators. Now, they will miss that shot, kind of a tough angle, trying to hit it off that pyramid, perhaps. Will be Jack British sending it over to Hero. And Hero just dancing around, trying to keep the defense on their toes. And Kabishi, definitely on his toes, is able to get that and send it out on the pretty successful clear. So nicely done. They do have a player way deep in the back lane. It's a Tick here, has a little bit of time. And now arriving here is Redfire as well. And they do indeed get the score, but it was very dangerous. Could have been a save just the same. I mean, the defense had returned with about half a second to spare. But they do bring it back within 2. Credit to Ultimate Crusaders, able to find that disc and, still squeeze it through despite the boosted defenders returning into the goal. So some kind of hero rolling out. The second stack seemingly delayed here. In fact, yeah, one player came out late, and one player is yet to actually even come out the tunnel, it seems like. So down some numbers. I don't even know if that's been the case for a while or not, but whatever it is, down some numbers at the moment. And with a disc here is Tick. Now trying to evade this defense, playing in these lanes. Salami ties it all up. 30 seconds into that round, so I'm not sure what's going on here on the side of Orange, of Apex Predators. Maybe looking for a restart or a timeout. You can see they're considering it. Noah looking like having some trouble getting back, but definitely wants to get back soon as possible because they cannot afford to give up some more points. Another score here would mean they lose their lead that they had, secured by a couple goals. So there's a turnover. Redfire now trying to send it off and just beyond the grasp of Hero. Now that's going to sail mighty close to the goal, just dinging, and now ringing in for the 2-point advantage. Ultimate Crusaders pulling ahead. So once again, the question, is Noah back? And it looks like that is the case. So they were missing him deeply for the last 2 possessions to the tune of, well, now they're at the detriment in the points department with only 2 minutes left. So let's see. They do have a full 4 back in force, but you gotta wonder how good the Ultimate Crusaders are feeling, because they were just allowed to score a few times in a row. And that could be some dangerous momentum here to push them into the 3rd round. We'll see. So in the tunnel will be Salami with a disc, just tapping to avoid Jack British. But gotta watch out because, again, that guy right there, that hero right there, has just been everywhere, it seems like. It's fitting for a superhero. But anytime that disc is loose, it seems like an awful lot of the time, it's Hero doing something to make it happen. With that, Noah in the backfield will secure the disc and clear it out. Very nice clear down the mid lane. Speedy as it was, they need to find their speed indeed on the chains. There it is, a small overshoot, but Hero around the pole, trying to get a little bit steezy with it, and not what they could afford here as they do take a shot. So that could prove costly there if they don't score, but they will to tie it up. So Jack British with a clutch goal and evens the series, or evens the score, I should say. But the dangers here now is the fact that Ultimate Crusaders are back in offense possession with 37 seconds left to spare. So they still have plenty of time to score one more time and force that third round. But they got to be careful. If they happen to turn it over, they need to make sure they grab someone fast to either boost or get a leech. But just really have to be precise and decisive in these last seconds. So going for a win, going for a round 3, a big stun, a takeaway. The play, though, is not there. Missing that shot there, the momentum not quite enough strong. And the slap into the lane. If they can get this boost, they might take this game away. The seconds are down. 4, 3, the open goal, and the win gonna be taken away by the Predators on the hunt. Right at the last seconds, just the costly turnover and the very big boost into the victory. And that is a heartbreaker for sure. If you're on the side of the Crusaders, the Ultimate Crusaders there, because you felt, you had some good momentum going. You were right up in it until the last few seconds, maybe looking at an overtime or a round 3, but just a couple minor misplays, but end up turning into major ones because of the punish coming in from Apex. And yeah, just what can you say? They're able to clutch it in the end. But with that, to the second round score screen here, courtesy, of course, of Ignite VR. And get a look at those stats. So off of this win, it was Apex Predators being led, well, by a little bit of everyone, honestly. Everyone's scoring, which you can see there. I mean, Jack British had 5 points and 3 assists, 22 stuns. Noah contributing 2 points, 3 saves, as well as a steal. For some kind of hero, big game with the 10 points, the only double-digit scorer in this match, as well as an assist, a save, 9 steals, and 16 stuns. That's pretty immense in its own right. I've not often seen a game where any player gets almost double-digit steals. I think I've seen 9 or 10 steals maybe once or twice ever, but otherwise that is a very uncommon stat. And well, it's like I was saying, right? Hero seemingly was everywhere at once, proven purely by the steals, if nothing else. I mean, taking them off guard time and time again. Levi Woods contributing 2 points and 2 steals as well, 16 stuns. Over on the Ultimate Crusaders side, it was 3 nice saves as well as some pretty solid midline play from Kabishi. Definitely well positioned and hiding out there in the midfield, got some interceptions, no doubt, even though it won't show on the scoreboard, the stat board. Still played it nicely. Also was steal and 6 stuns. He had Red Fire filling up every category as well with, look at that, 2 points, 1 assist, 2 saves, 2 steals, 30 stuns. So definitely the full-fledged effort and the full buffet of stats there. Salami with 9 points to lead his team on the scores, 3 steals and 20 stuns. And for Tick, or TKC, as the case may be, it's 2 points, 1 assist, and 3 steals with 10 stuns. But yeah, at the end of the day, just, a bit faster boosting coming in from Predators. You can see the other stat categories, not massive differences per se. I mean, 50% on the saves, 50-50 between the teams, 57 to 43 advantage on the steals department there. But considering one of those players in Apex had 9 steals, I mean, if you just compare kind of the rest of the teammates to each other on both teams, the steal departments were pretty even. The stun department, 52%, 48%, I mean, pretty even. So really does come down to just that speed, that little bit of extra speed that Predators were able to put in, like a Predator missile, essentially. Otherwise, that was a supremely even game and fun to watch. These teams played very, very well. But with that, going to a record of 2-6 will be Ultimate Crusaders, and Apex Predators, meanwhile, will be happy to secure themselves an even one at 4-4 as they continue on here into Week 4. So with that, yeah, that'll do it for this particular stream. You guys at home, be sure to tune in tonight because we have some fantastic games coming up in the very near future. In about 54 minutes from now, so at the top of the hour, we'll have Aurora versus Rusty Robots And again, always notable is the fact, well, that Aurora is one of the few remaining undefeated teams in the upper divisions, Diamond and Master. Aurora at the very tip-top of Diamond, 7 wins, 0 losses. Meanwhile, facing Rusty Robots, who had a bit of an upset against the Team Spartan yesterday. So Rusty Robots definitely coming in feeling pretty good after last night. Following that, we'll talk about undefeated, Team Joker and Kang Gorillas on Channel 1. Basically, after tonight in Master Tier, only one undefeated team shall remain. So that is going to be very, very high in the curiosity and no doubt the gameplay department. Following that on Channel 1, we'll continue on with Master matches with Project Mayhem versus Spaghetti. And after that, Project Mayhem versus Ethereal. So yeah, high Diamond and then 3 Masters straight. Definitely a lot to look forward to, for sure. Meanwhile, on Channel 2 here, looks like you will have Wonder T-Man camming, perhaps casting for Wizard Lizards and the Creatures of the Trench. That's not for about 3 hours. As well as BBX versus Knights of the Bed even later on. So both channels will have matches streamed to them tonight, and you got your options. Of course, check the website and the Discords for more information. But until then, welcome JC3 Live into the chat, but we are also saying goodbye for about an hour. We'll be back. And Mighty Quinn as well. Yeah, I've been Palidore, and yeah, you guys, thanks for joining me. Be happy, healthy, safe, and good to each other, and we'll see you again for North American Prime Time really soon. Season 3 of VRML Echo Arena is brought to you by HyperX, Rebuff Reality, Asterion Products, ProTube VR, VR Cover, Fixed Gaming, and VRware.net.